Welcome to the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. I am your host, Jen Bagaiski, where I will take you on a deep dive into your own life so that hidden, hurting parts of your soul can be healed. This is a podcast about love, sex, pleasure, and relationships. You will learn how to feel safe to truly love and connect with your body. Surrender to the desires and hungers of your soul and step into the beautiful, sensual, feminine, sexy, and powerful woman you were created to be. I believe deeply in my soul that sexuality is the missing key in personal growth and development. It is time to toss away all of the nonsense you have been taught about these taboo topics and heal your relationship to your sexuality. You can eliminate shame and guilt, own your sexy confidence, feel incredible in your skin, embrace the depths of exquisite pleasure, and have the deeply connected relationships you truly desire. Grab your cozy socks, pour yourself a glass of wine, get comfy, and let's get started. Hello, everyone. This is Jen Bagaiski, and welcome to the next episode of the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. Today, we are going to talk about turn on. What turns you on, what lights you up, and allows you to feel alive. And the concept for this topic was inspired by a conversation that I had with a friend years ago in my healing journey. And there was one day we were just chit-chatting and they looked at me and said, there's something that's missing in your energy and I can't pinpoint it. I can't figure out what it is. And of course, I had no clue. And then the person looked at me and said, Jen, what turns you on? And I was like, that's kind of an odd question, but I don't know. And then they repeated the question again and said, no, Jen, seriously, like what physically turns you on? And I sat there for a moment and just paused because I didn't know the answer. And when I replied back and I said, I really don't know. I've never thought about it. It's never been something that's important to me. So I really don't know. And that's when they said, Jen, that's what's missing. You need to get in touch with your own turn on and your own aliveness within you as a woman. And while I heard their advice, I thought to myself, okay, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I hear you, but what does that really mean? So let's fast forward on in the journey. And if any of you are familiar with Abraham Hicks, one of the things that she talks about all the time is being tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. And her whole concept in regards to this is if you want to be in alignment with your soul and to manifest what you want to bring into this lifetime, then you need to be in the vortex. Your energy needs to be turned on. And she uses the example of a radio station, right? Years ago, when you actually had to turn the knob as opposed to just press the button, right? If you turned the knob and you didn't get to the exact station, you would hear static. You wouldn't get to the right frequency. And her whole point is that if we want to connect with our soul's purpose, then we need to be turned on in our own energy so that we can tune into that frequency. And you might be saying, well, Jen, why are you bringing this up? And the reason I am bringing this up is because there are two different ways that you might be looking at turn on. You might initially be looking at turn on as what physically turns me on in this physical body of mine, right? When it is sexual or intimate in nature, versus what turns me on and gets me all excited about things in life, things that I am passionate about. Many people have a fire inside of them, and they have this turn on, this light turned on inside of them for a passion project. And what I want everyone listening here to understand is that it's all energy. It's vibration. It's feelings. It's aliveness. It's passion. Whether you are talking about the expression in life, or you were talking about the expression through the physical body, it all comes from the same energetic place in our bodies. And it's important for us to understand the correlation between the two. And if you think about this from a physical perspective, what turns you on? Do you know? In my second book, The Inquisitive, which is all about creating focused intentions on your needs and desires and the permission to be curious, that my pleasure is more important than your rules. Like, what is turn on? And some of the women that I had interviewed said, I'm ashamed to say, I don't know what turns me on. I've never thought about it. Or, I really enjoy watching the romance novel or romance movies on TV. Or I really like the smutty romance novels because those things turn me on, right? How many of you have ever watched a movie or read a smutty novel and actually felt tinglings inside of your body? There is a physical sensation that can happen when you are turning on your energy. And I remember early on in this journey when I started dating, and there was a guy who had sent me a text, and he used the terminology and said something like, "You're an electric vixen." And it really wasn't a sexting kind of thing, but when I saw those words on the page, I got a shot of electricity flow through my body. I didn't hear the words. I didn't see him, but I energetically felt an electric shock through my body from those handful of words. And it became an interesting experiment for me to play with. What is it that turns me on? Because I didn't really know. And I think that for a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women, we don't necessarily know what turns us on because we've never had any education on it. We have men who want to please us, want to turn us on, but men are very different than women in what turns them on, right? A man can get turned on just by looking at a beautiful naked woman or looking at pornography. And that's not necessarily what is going to turn on a woman. So if we are expecting a man to know how to turn us on, we have some serious communication gaps and issues and expectations here. And I think that one of the things that I have seen with women I have interviewed or clients, that especially after they've had a baby, right? They may have been very intimate and connected with their partner beforehand. They have a baby and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, like I have no desire. Like, where did it go? What happened to me? And all that's happened is that energy, that light has been dimmed down. It's not gone. It's not broken. It's that you as a woman need to understand what turns you on. And I think that a lot of times what we do is we look to the man to turn us on because it feels good. Like emotionally, it feels good, and physically, it feels good. But it's not a man's job to know how to turn us on. Now, it's part of our job to help educate him on how to do that. And if he actually knows how to do something that we've never experienced before, yay for us. How cool is that, right? But it shouldn't be our expectation that he knows how to turn us on. Because I think we are doing ourselves a disservice in our relationship and in our overall life. Because let's think back to it again. It's all about vibration and energy and aliveness from a physical and an energetic perspective. And you can't go to your partner and have him fill you up with aliveness and energy for a passion project, right? So we as women need to become aware of the possibility of how we can think about what turns us on, do some investigative research. Because what's really important as well too is as you dive into the depths of sacred sexuality, there is a difference when two people come together and one person turns the other on, right? It's a great experience that we're in essence looking for or getting something, getting our needs fulfilled from the other person. It's a completely different experience when you show up turned on. That when you connect with your partner, you are not looking for fulfillment. You are not looking for turn on. You are not seeking anything. It is you coming on in your full essence, in your full energy, and sharing yourself with your partner. And that is pure divine magic. And so many of us have not gotten to that experience because we have not taken responsibility for our own turn on and our own pleasure. It takes time and effort and desire to want to know what turns us on, what lights us up. And this can happen in a variety of different ways. There is a physical component, and then there are energetic components. Like one of the things that fuels me up and turns me on is dancing. I love singing and dancing. That is something that fuels that turn on, that aliveness, that energy within me. What is something that does that for you? Is it cooking? Is it traveling? Is it gardening? Is it taking, long walks outside? Is it archery? I don't know what it is, right? But it's important for each and every one of us as women to find that aliveness and turn on within us, as opposed to seeking it outside of ourselves. And when we are busy, stressed out, overworked, taking care of our children, taking care of the household, taking care of our businesses, right? There's a lot of stress and pressure upon ourselves. And when that happens, the last thing we're thinking about is turn on. But ladies, what I would like to leave you with today is to understand the power of that turn on. If you could open up to being curious and to beginning to learn, know, and understand what those turn-ons are for you, how it can shift your life. It can reduce your stress. It can reduce the overwhelm, the burden, the laundry list of things that feel like they have to get done. And part of the reason for that is because when you are turned on and when you are feeling alive, there are lots of other things that are not the big rocks. They're like the little sandpaper that, kind of gets in our way, that seem to disappear. And life becomes so much easier. So I encourage you to take a look at your own life and identify, do you know what turns you on? Do you care? Right? Have you thought about it? Do you expect your partner to do that? You probably want romance and the right environment and all of these things to happen before you can have a great experience. Well, what if you could set that up yourself? Or what if you could communicate that that's what you needed? Imagine the power that you would have. Imagine what could shift in your life, how you could create more happiness, pleasure, and fulfillment in your life when you realize the power and the energy of your own turn on.
Thank you so much for listening to the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. I'm your host, Jen Begeiski. If you have enjoyed what you heard today, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss future episodes. And leave a review to help reach other passionate women like you know they are not alone in this journey to experiencing thriving relationships, exquisite pleasure, and sexy confidence. If you have felt a calling to take this work to a deeper level, this is your sacred invitation to join my free Facebook group, Essential Feminine Life, or schedule a heart-to-heart with me to learn more about how you can take this work to the next level and say yes to your pleasure and your desire.